Have you ever felt drained after spending time with your significant other? This is something that may be an indicator that you're in a toxic relationship. Studies indicate that upwards of 25 to 30% of people will experience some type of unhealthy or toxic relationship in their lives. So, with that being said, it's important for you to be able to recognize the signs of a toxic relationship, but not just for yourself, but also for your friends and those around you, because no one wants to lose a friend to a toxic relationship. So today we're going to talk about a few of the common indicators that you or someone you care about may be in a toxic relationship, so you can safeguard yourself and them. The first one of sign we're going to talk about is constant criticism. Now think about it. You get into a relationship with somebody. One of the biggest things, of course, is that you like them, that you're attracted to them and that you love how they make you feel. But let's focus on that last part, loving how they make you feel. If someone's always criticizing you and getting on your butt about what you're not doing right, and you've gotten to a point where it seems like you can never do anything right, and we're not just talking about because you got called on your bull crap so you feel bad about it. We're talking about when you sit down at the end of the day and you really just feel crummy, and when you think back to it, you think early into the day, all the interactions you've had with your significant other have been negative because they're always griping about something that you're not doing right, and you know yourself that you're putting in a sincere effort. This can be an indicator that you are in a toxic relationship. If someone truly cares about you and they have an issue or grievance with you that they need to address, continually nagging you or getting on you, kind of beating you over the head with a stick about what you're not doing right without giving you any suggestions on how you could do better, without offering a way that they could help you do better, without giving you some sort of guide to say, okay, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'd like to see, this is why, and hey, here's some advice or a suggestion on maybe how you could do that, so that way we can get back on track. That's how things should go in a healthy relationship. But in a toxic relationship, oftentimes that person will take everything that they have an issue with and put it on you without offering you any assistance in terms of remedying the situation. So this is something that you want to be on the lookout for, because if you're always being criticized and you can never feel like you're doing anything right, that's going to weigh on your mental state and your emotional state, and that's not going to be something that's going to put you in a good position to be able to make those adjustments and move forward in a relationship. So keep an eye out for this one. Now, number two is definitely something you want to look out for, and this manipulation. You have people in toxic relationships where they will look to maneuver things to their advantage by using a couple of tactics, and one of them is gaslighting, making the other person feel like what they're describing as an issue is not one, or making it seem like what the other person is saying happened. Like, hey, well, I said you said you were gonna pick me up at 3:00. I could have swore, and the person who's gaslighting saying, no, you never told me anything. That didn't happen. We didn't even talk about it. When it very well happened, but gaslighting the other person and thinking that they're really out of their mind, like it never occurred. And you might think, well, John, I know what I said. If there's a text message I sent, like I remember. But understand, people, when people are in a toxic relationship, that person that's gaslighting will do it with such intensity and with such consistency, over periods of time, that when it's just you and them, you'll really start questioning yourself and second guessing yourself, especially if you overstay your welcome in the relationship. They will have you thinking that you're tripping, that, wow, maybe I really didn't send that text that I sent 60 seconds ago. Maybe there was something wrong with my phone. Have you thinking that you a lie. So you got to watch out for that. When it comes to playing the victim is also another tactic, that a controlling tactic that people will use in a toxic relationship to try to manipulate the other person so they can get their way. Playing the victim is something that in a toxic relationship, a lot of times it comes out in a sentence like, if you love me, you would just do this and we would get along, you would just do what I say, or you would have did this favor for me. Like, the only reason we're having this argument, the only reason I put my hands on you is because, like, you got me there. Like, you pushed me to that point. Like, it's I don't know what you expect me to do. You might hear me saying this and you'd be like, that doesn't really sound like stuff. Like, People really do that, and unfortunately, coming from someone who works with people with these issues as a counselor and a life coach, that does happen, and it happens a lot, unfortunately, where people are in relationships with those that really don't value them, for who they are, what they bring to the table. And the sad part about it is that when you're in a figurative room with this person, you're living with this person, it's just y'all two. The combination of that manipulation through things like gaslighting and playing the victim, when the other person really doesn't have much of a leg to stand on, when that's all the type of energy that you're getting and that's the type of pressure that you're feeling, and you don't have someone else from the outside that, maybe that best friend or something to pull you out, that can be very overwhelming mentally, emotionally, and in the worst of cases, physically, where people are putting hands on each other. Sometimes it may be the woman putting their hands on the man doesn't want to do anything, and other times it's both of them going at it. And what we gotta remember is that we have these relationships, right? But we live in a society, with other people. So you may think, oh, well, we'll get it under control. It's just us fighting. It's our business. Nah, your neighbors here, y'all yelling. They call the police show up. Oftentimes, if there's any indication of bruising that y'all was really getting into it and somebody got hurt, they're gonna take one of y'all to jail. What kind of relationship is that? But this is why you need to understand the warning signs, because the most toxic of relationships, that's the point that it gets to. And once you kind of like go over the ledge with certain things like putting your hands on each other, the ride is a downward spiral, and it is not one you can just break free of. So you got to be careful and really pay attention to these warning signs so you can stop things before they even get, to that point. Number 3 is something that you need in any relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, your friend, the job you're working at. You need this with everybody, and it's about making sure that other person values you and that they respect you. Because without those two things, if someone doesn't respect you, y'all not gonna go anywhere. If they don't value you for who you are and what you bring to the table, y'all not gonna go anywhere, and you're not gonna feel wanted. And if you don't feel wanted, you're not gonna stay, even if you stay physically. Emotionally, you're not going to be there. That's how a lot of people end up stepping out in their relationships and cheating, because they've gotten to a point where they feel disconnected. And instead of disconnecting completely from the relationship and breaking up, they stay there and then end up entertaining somebody else, which puts them in the hot seat. That's not what you want to do. If someone is not showing that they appreciate and respect you, if they are not supporting you in the things that you do, right? What's the point of being in a relationship? If I'm going to join forces with somebody and partner up, I need and I want your support. I need your support in order for the relationship to make sense, but I want your support. If I got a business venture, right, and you're my girl and you're not supporting what I'm doing, if she, if I got a girl and she wants to go off to college to get her master's, right, whether it's a financial support that she needs, emotional support, mental support, maybe she needs me to do some more chores around the house. If I'm not ready to do those things to help her achieve her goal, because her achieving her goal and me achieving my goal, really makes it so that we can both, rise up together, right? Because we're supposed to be tackling this as a team. If we're not on the same page with that, and that's not being done and reciprocated between the two of us, there's no point in us being together. That's not a relationship that's worth entertaining. And you're not a bad person if you're in a relationship where you see that you're not getting the support you want, and you say, hey, like, I don't know if this is going to work out. You're not overreacting. Don't let somebody try to gaslight you into thinking that that's not a problem, right? That is a problem. Relationships are intended to be mutually beneficial. If they're not mutually beneficial, right? If you go to work and your job doesn't pay you, you're not going. So why would you go to work, put work into a relationship that's not giving you anything back? Makes no sense. So don't do that. All right. So when it comes to the signs we covered today, keep on the lookout for them. We talked about them. Let's run down the list. So to recap, 3 indicators that we're looking at, 3 warning signs that we're looking at to see if we or someone we care about is in a toxic relationship. The first one is going to be constant criticism. It's negativity all the time. You can't do this right. You can't do that right. But no offer or suggestion of how to fix it. That's the first. Number 2, manipulation. And that could be through gaslighting. That could be through them playing the victim. Number two, you also want to be on the lookout for it, because it's not going to lead the relationship anywhere positive. And number three is that lack of support. Relationships are meant to be mutually beneficial, and if you two aren't supporting each other, if it's not clear that you respect each other and that you value each other for what they bring to the table, the relationship is a dud. It's not going to go anywhere, and there's really no point in you being in it, because again, relationships are meant to be, say it with me, mutually beneficial. If you like this video, you got some value from it, please like it, share it with a friend. This will be a great way for you to show you care about somebody. Maybe you're concerned about their relationship without you actually having to say it. So share this video with them, and I invite you all to subscribe to A Better Life. We're all in this together. So obviously a toxic relationship isn't what you're looking for. So what type of love do you want? Check this video out. Let's see.